What is fuel bugs or diesel bugs? How to get rid of them and how to avoid them coming back. Let's see what happened to this motor sailor in Nauticat 38. The boat is rather old. It's 40 years old, but in good condition and with a new engine 4 years old and almost 1,000 hours. The condition of the fuel tanks are unknown at this time. The first trip of the year was early, perhaps a bit too early. It was 5 hours motoring. At the end, I felt that the engine was not performing well. It did not stop, but it was not quite as it used to be. So, safe at my destination, I checked the fuel filter. Then I was terrified. It was almost completely blocked by dead fuel bugs. Dead or alive. Have a look at this water separator. The fuel should be clear and green. Now it is just a brown mess. Luckily I was moored to a pier, but I was still 5 hours away from home and the weather had changed. I did not dare to go back. I had to call the Ghostbusters, or at least the fuel bug busters. Fuel bugs or diesel bugs are microorganisms that grow on fuels. They feed on the hydrocarbons in the fuel and create biomass, biofilm and damaging byproducts. These microorganisms live in even the smallest amounts of water, often from condensation, and at the interface of fuel and water, where they can create thick biomass. So I had to call the bug buster. He arrived with some impressive equipment. All the fuel was removed from the tanks. We have 2 tanks with 300 liters of fuel in each tank. The fuel was cleaned and later put back on the tanks. He made 3 holes in each tank to clean the inside of the tanks properly. Then the same procedure on the other tank. Here you can see how the tanks looked inside before he cleaned it. This is after he cleaned it. It took half the day and it cost a fortune, but I had no choice. Now I was ready to sail home again and to really start the season. So, what have I done since that time so I don't get this back? First, I use fuel additives to kill the bugs. I check my water separator often and I change my fuel filters often. Then I also remove the water. Since water is heavier than diesel, it will stay in the bottom of the tank. Several times during the sailing season, I drain some diesel from the tank to get rid of any water. Here you can see how I do it. The black hose is just for safety, in case someone opens the valve by mistake. I remove this black hose. Temporarily, I connect the short blue hose that lead to a small bottle. Then I open the valve just a few seconds to drain the water and fuel. Now you can see green, clear fuel. In the beginning, I got remains of the bugs in one of the tanks. Here you can see the fuel from port and starboard tank. Look at the difference. Now after some time, I get only clear green fuel when I do this. Now I do this sometimes a year just to be sure that there is no water in the fuel. Then I sleep so much better.